Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is with me now. Sir, good morning. Here's the headline, Wall Street Journal. Here we go. U.S. warns of serious risk if it conducts major attack on Israel. Are the Iranians listening to us, sir? Should we believe that is the case now?
Bill, I hope so, but there's not much reason for them to be listening, right? What we've typically said there is don't, and then followed up with a set of policies that have encouraged continuing Iranian aggression, whether it was the $6 billion that we paid to get some American hostages home, whether it's the total lack of action to get the current American hostages still being held by the Iranians in Gaza home, whether it's the fact that they struck and injured Americans. You know, Bill, this almost was overlooked by the administration. That President Biden and Vice President Harris don't even speak about this. We had Americans injured by Iranian rockets, Iranian proxy rockets in Iraq just a week ago, and the United States has done nothing to impose costs on the Iranians. So I suspect when they see a off-the-record quote in the Wall Street Journal this morning that says, hey, be careful, they don't take that into their deterrence calculus, and the risk in Israel continues to expand, and the risk of a greater war in the region continues to expand as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, here at home, we got this. New York Post put it up. Hundreds of suspected cartel drones, some now with explosives, are flying near the southern border. You think about that possibility. And you think about these 100 people on the terror watch list who apparently are able to cross the border, and they're somewhere here at home. We've got an election in 3 months. How's Kamala Harris going to address this threat? Because it happened when she was in the White House.
No doubt that it did, and no doubt that it happened when she was at least nominally in charge of border security and keeping Americans safe from threats that emanate from our southern border. You know, Bill, you said think about this. I thought about this an awful lot. The Trump administration, we thought about this risk of terrorists coming across our southern border an awful lot, and we began to enact a set of policies that reduced that risk. The number of people that were captured on our southern border that were on our terror watch list was much lower because the bad guys understood that we were serious. We would prosecute them, we would put them in jail, and we would send them back home. And the Biden administration has done just the opposite. They have fueled this immigration, and you can see today from dozens and dozens of countries, you have people on our U.S. terror watch list now sitting somewhere in the United States today, and we frankly don't know exactly where they are and certainly don't know what it is they're up to, whether it was what we saw happen with the Pakistani who had connections to Iran that was indicted this week, or other things that we've seen happen from illegal immigrants. The risk of terror inside our country emanating from someone who made their way across our now wide open southern porous border is very real. Yeah. And I don't think there's a darn thing that Vice President Harris or her nominal VP, Governor Walz, they've encouraged this, not discouraged it. And this is where America finds itself today, with unserious leaders putting risk on the American people.
Well, and it's not as if we don't know about the risk, because you think about the FBI director just a couple of months ago before Congress saying he's never seen so many flashing lights all over the place. And he did talk about the border being part of this in that context. He said in his career, he's never seen so many different threats from so many different places coming in at one time, the border being part of that. You've been privy to what it is like to know about all of these threats. How worried are you when you hear the FBI director saying that publicly and what seems to be a pass to the current administration on the border?
It was quite a remarkable statement from Director Wray, saying that all the red lights are flashing. You've never seen anything quite like this. That tells me that he knows that there are problems that the FBI is not capable of managing, that the scale of the risk is beyond their capabilities today, because the CBP has been told to stand down and all our border policies have permitted these folks to come in, and the scale of that risk is so large. I did see it, Shannon. These people are serious. The cartels have real money. They're well-funded. They are deeply connected to the Chinese Communist Party in many ways. A lot of the money laundering is Chinese money laundering. This risk emanates from all the bad actors around the world, and now it's inside the gates here in the United States as well, Shannon.
All right, Mr. Secretary, it is good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Mike Pompeo, thanks for coming on.
Great to see you all. Have a great weekend.
You too.